few men walk this path. Its presence is felt deeply by women. This may sound absolute, yet I invite you to reflect. How often have you observed a man, seemingly complete, who still finds it difficult to form profound, resonant connections? This is not about one's appearance, wealth, or outward confidence. The truth is, many overlook the simple, yet potent gestures that give their presence an undeniable weight. And today, I wish to share 8 insights that women are deeply receptive to, yet are seldom spoken of. These are not common pieces of advice you might have heard. They are subtle shifts in awareness, guided by both an inner knowing and the wisdom of nature, which can transform how you are perceived. You may become a memorable presence without any force or effort. Consider this. What if you could connect with the unspoken truths that many women hold? What if you could distinguish yourself from the common path, not through pursuit or validation, but through a genuine understanding of what allows a woman to feel truly seen, valued, and emotionally met? If you are unaware of these understandings, you may find yourself at a disadvantage, missing the chance to cultivate an attraction that allows her to feel your presence long after you have departed. This is why I invite you to remain with this exploration. The final insight is the most profound, and once you grasp it, your perception of connection will be forever altered. Before we begin, a small invitation. If you are earnest about embracing these transformative practices, a gesture of support allows these insights to reach others on their journey. Now, let us begin. Insight 1, the understanding of presence before union. Imagine this scene. You are sharing time with someone. The conversation moves easily. There is laughter and all appears well, yet a certain stillness is absent. You sense the connection has not fully taken root. She is present, but not fully settled in your presence. You part ways, send a message, and are met with silence. Where did the energy disperse? Many men focus entirely on words to build a bridge. They believe a skillful conversation is the whole of the art. Yet for women, connection is not just a mental exercise. It is an echo in the body and the heart. And there exists a deeply underappreciated way to create this resonance touch. Not with a forward or demanding energy that causes unease, but with a touch that is subtle, intentional, and profoundly meaningful. One of the most overlooked gestures that women feel a deep need for is a simple, gentle message before any expectation of intimacy. The idea is simple, yet its power is profound. For a woman, feeling emotionally connected is as vital, if not more so, than any physical impulse. A well-placed, non-demanding touch conveys far more than language ever can. It communicates, I see you. I care for your well-being. I wish for you to feel safe and at ease in my space. This is not about performing a technique or seeking to impress her. It is about your own presence, about being fully in the moment, allowing her to feel relaxed, understood, and seen. Not merely for her body, but for her being. The foundation. It is not the touch itself, but the pure intention behind it. If you are merely moving through motions, the gesture will feel hollow. But if you are present, attentive, and genuinely attuned to her response, she will feel the depth. An ancient teaching reminds us, do not waste time debating what a good person is. Simply be one. Do not let your mind overcomplicate this. Simply reside in the moment and let your actions be their own honest expression. Here is a simple truth. Most men do not take the time to cultivate this understanding. They remain among the many who find a gap in their emotional intimacy. But the men who embody this, they foster deep, lasting connections that a woman's heart does not forget. In a world where many seek quick gratification through surface interactions, this thoughtful approach is a rarity. When you master it, you become part of the few who truly understand what women seek on a much deeper level. Insight 2, the dance of playful awareness. Many misunderstand the art of playful interaction. They either apply too much force, appearing needy and eager, or they withdraw completely, fearing a misstep. The truth is, women often delight in this dance, but only when it is guided with a confident lightness and sincere respect. A man who knows how to engage playfully and without effort stands apart because he cultivates an energy that is exciting yet free of pressure. This art is not about impressing her with prepared lines or overstated praise. It is about keeping the space between you playful, light, and alive. Think of it as a shared current. You may gently guide the flow, but neither of you feels forced in your movement. A simple way to do this is through gentle teasing, offered in a fun, light-hearted spirit. For instance, if she shares her love for a certain food, you might reply with a smile, "Is that so?" Clearly, your journey is not yet complete until you have tried my cooking. It is a subtle invitation that keeps the conversation vibrant while creating a sense of warm connection. More importantly, this dance is never about seeking her approval. The instant you strive to impress, you lose your center. Women are naturally drawn to men who are at ease in their own being, who can be playful without needing confirmation. This is where a deep inner wisdom guides us. A man of substance does not play to win a woman's favor. He plays because he finds joy in the interaction itself. He remains emotionally centered, never desperate for her reaction. Beyond words, your gaze and the way you hold yourself are paramount. A confident gaze, followed by a slow smile, a quiet nod, or a well-held silence speaks more than any collection of words. Attraction is not built with language alone. It is built with presence, energy, and inner quiet. When you engage with this mindset, women feel it immediately. So, I invite you to ask yourself, are you interacting to gain something, or because you find peace in the present moment? Master this, and you will witness how connection flows effortlessly towards you. Insight 3. A gesture of attunement. Most men completely overlook this, but women often cherish when a man knows how to touch their hair. When offered at the right moment, it stands as one of those small, seemingly minor gestures that can forge an immediate heart connection. But if done without awareness, it can feel awkward, contrived, or even invasive. The key is to understand why this is so. The scalp is one of the most sensitive parts of our form, holding countless nerve endings that can awaken deep emotional responses. A gentle, well-placed touch upon her hair can send subtle yet powerful signals of closeness, trust, and shared warmth. It is not only about the physical sensation, it is about the unspoken message. It can say, "I see you, I am present with you, and I am attuned to your energy." But this is where many men falter. They either rush the gesture or perform it like a machine, with no true connection flowing through their hand. Touching her hair is not about mindless play. It is about creating a shared moment of closeness. Imagine this. You are seated with her, sharing a conversation, and at the perfect moment, you gently brush a strand of hair from her face. That single act, performed with clear intention and quiet confidence, can express more than 1,000 words. Timing is the essence. This is not a gesture for a first meeting or before any emotional trust has been built. It resonates best when she already feels at ease with you, when there is warmth and a shared feeling in the air. If she leans toward you, if her smile invites you closer, that is your sign the moment is right. The gravest error is to force the gesture when she is not open, which is why your own presence and awareness are vital. From a place of deep wisdom, this connects back to emotional intelligence and self-discipline. This wisdom teaches us to observe situations without acting on raw impulse, to remain centered rather than being led by desire. This means you do not reach out simply because you want to, but rather because it is the right moment to deepen a connection. So the next time you are with a woman and the energy feels aligned, do not underestimate the power of a simple, mindful touch upon her hair. When done with confidence and pure intention, it is one of those rare, subtle acts that leaves a lasting sense of peace. Insight 4. Guidance with quiet strength. This may appear to be a small, insignificant gesture, but in reality, it speaks a language of its own. A simple, confident touch on a woman's lower back, as you guide her through a busy space, or as you walk together, communicates something profoundly resonant: leadership, assurance, and a protective presence. And still many men either fail to see its value or they hesitate, uncertain of the gesture. Women do not need grand demonstrations of masculinity to feel secure. They respond to subtle, instinctual signals that a man is grounded, present, and capable of guiding with ease. When you place your hand on her back in a calm, self-assured manner, you convey that you are at peace within yourself and the situation, without needing to utter a word. It is not about asserting power or control, but about showing her through a simple action that you are there, that you are aware, and that you lead with a quiet confidence. But this is where most men miss the mark. They either hesitate so much that the moment feels clumsy, or they do it in a way that feels forced and out of place. This is not about being possessive, nor is it about asking for validation. It is about pure presence. When offered correctly, the touch is light but deliberate, brief but intentional. It is just enough for her to feel it and register your presence in a way that feels effortless and natural. Envision this. You are walking beside her, approaching the entrance to a restaurant. As you move slightly ahead to open the door for her, your hand rests for a moment on her lower back, just enough to guide her path without breaking the flow. It is a moment of quiet leadership, a gesture that subconsciously reassures her that she is with a man who moves with confidence and intention. An ancient piece of wisdom states, "Do not waste more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." A man of substance does not seek approval for his actions. He simply embodies strength, awareness, and quiet inner command. When you place your hand on her back, you are not seeking a certain reaction. You are simply being a man of presence and gentle leadership. And that in itself is magnetic. In a world where many men are either too timid or too imposing, mastering this simple yet profound movement sets you apart as someone who understands the subtle balance of strength and care. Insight 5. The shelter of a grounded heart. Let us quiet the outside world for a moment and touch upon something every man feels but seldom admits: the deep calling to offer shelter, to guide, to be a presence she can lean into when the world feels unsettled. This is not because she is weak, nor because you wish to control her, but because it is a reflection of a deep, masculine stillness to shield without smothering, to stand firm, not to chase. And here is what many miss: women deeply yearn for this. Not a god, not a ruler, but a man who carries a kind of presence that says, "Without words, you are safe in my space." The beautiful paradox is this: you do not earn this role through physical strength or wealth. You earn it through your emotional fortitude. You see, many men believe that offering shelter means rushing in with a solution, fixing her problems, telling her what to do, repairing her difficult day as if it were a broken object. But that is not what she seeks. What she truly wants is a man who can stand still while her own storm passes. A man who does not flinch when her emotions are intense, who does not try to dismiss them, minimize them, or make it about himself. She wants to know that you can hold the space for her chaos without losing your own clarity. Because when a woman is overwhelmed, mentally, emotionally, or hormonally, she is not looking for a fixer. She is looking for someone who will not be moved by the storm, someone who does not try to escape, who does not react, who stays but stays centered. That is what makes you her shelter. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is not romantic in the way of stories. It is steady, quiet, unshakable. And the more she feels that from you, the more she can relax into her own feminine nature, because she no longer feels she is carrying everything alone. She can let go because she knows you are with her, even when she is not at her most peaceful. Let us be very specific. To be her shelter means letting her feel her emotions without you rushing to fix them. It means listening with your whole being, not just your ears. It means keeping your composure when she may be testing your foundation, not as a punishment, but to confirm that her storm will not break your mountain. It means stepping forward in stressful moments without over-explaining. Your calm becomes the signal. And here is the foundation. You become her shelter before she needs you to be. This means you do not just react to turmoil. You cultivate a peaceful energy that prevents it. You set the emotional tone of the space you share. You walk with purpose. You speak with intention. And you do not need to say, I am here for you, because the way you carry yourself already says it. But let me be clear, this is not about becoming her emotional burden bearer. Offering shelter does not mean you tolerate disrespect, instability, or manipulation. It means you protect your own peace first, because a man who cannot protect his own inner state will never be a true shelter for hers. An ancient sage once taught, no person was ever wise by chance. You do not stumble into this role. You choose it. You build it. You embody it. Not to impress her, not to prove a point, but because it is who you are, who you have cultivated yourself to be, who you must be to guide, not chase, to shelter, not prove. And here is the beautiful balance. When you step fully into that energy, she begins to look at you through different eyes. She softens. She opens. She trusts. Not because you rescued her, but because you showed her she never needed to rescue you. If you are finished with trying to earn affection through over-giving, if you are tired of being an emotional sponge just to keep her near, if you are finally ready to lead with a grounded heart, hold this thought within. I shelter with my presence. Because the man she is drawn to, the one her nervous system respects, is not the loudest one. He is the one who remains steady when it matters, the one who listens without fixing, who holds space without fear, and who guides without losing himself. That is the man she trusts. That is the man to whom she gives her heart. That is the shelter, not for her body, but for her safety in your presence. Insight 6, an expression of inner cultivation. Now, let us speak of something that appears purely physical at first, but touches upon something much deeper: a beard. To some, it is merely facial hair. To others, a style. But to her, if you carry it with the right intention, it can resonate with an attraction that feels almost primal. I am not suggesting that all women prefer beards. Tastes vary. Some prefer a clean-shaven face, some like a light stubble, some admire a full, well-kept look. But regardless of preference, there is a reason why beards have often symbolized something of the earth, something masculine, something of quiet power. And women sense this, even when they cannot name it. Because a beard does not just change how you look, it changes how you are perceived. And in connection, perception is a powerful current. You see, a well-cared for beard can signal maturity. It suggests a journey has been walked. It carries a certain weight. It tells her quietly, this man has moved beyond the face of a boy. He does not strive to impress. He simply is. And that simply is energy, that is grounded, that is a masculine quality. That is the kind of presence that speaks more loudly than your words. Let's go one layer deeper. Psychologically, facial hair can represent a sense of centeredness and depth. Not the loud kind of presence, but the quiet kind. The kind that enters a space and has no need to announce itself. It communicates through stillness, through presence, through the details. And when a woman perceives a man with that quality, especially if he carries a beard with confidence and care, it touches something ancient within her. She sees safety, but also strength. She senses a man who can both shelter and awaken, someone not easily swayed by external opinions, someone who walks his own path. But let us be clear, this is not about simply growing a beard. A beard, when it is aligned with you, is not just a look. It becomes a mirror of your self-discipline. It says, I care for myself. I pay attention to details. I invest in my own presence. An untamed, neglected beard does not speak of power. It speaks of a lack of care. But a clean, intentional beard says, I know who I am, and I am not afraid to embody it. Now, here is the subtle part rarely discussed. When a woman runs her fingers along your jaw, through your beard, she is not just feeling a texture. She is experiencing something deeper. It is contact, but it is also contrast, your groundedness against her softness, her gentle skin against your edge. It is a sensory experience, and it communicates without words. That is the part most men do not see. A beard does not just change your face. It can create a beautiful polarity. And polarity is what drives the current of chemistry. Not being the same, not mere comfort, but a harmonious difference, masculine and feminine, stillness and movement, strength and surrender. The beard, when paired with the right inner energy, becomes a tool to amplify that polarity, to allow her to feel more in her feminine essence simply by being near you. But again, it is not about the beard itself. It is about the man behind it. If your energy is weak, if your boundaries are unclear, if you chase, explain, or give, no amount of facial hair will change how she feels about you. But if you carry yourself like a centered man, silent when silence is needed, selective with your attention, grounded in your purpose, then the beard becomes more than an appearance. It becomes a symbol of the man you have become. And that is where its true resonance lies. An ancient teaching says, first know who you are, then adorn yourself accordingly. You do not grow a beard to hide insecurity. You grow it as an extension of your own truth. It does not make you strong. It reflects the strength you have already cultivated. So whether you remain clean, shaven, or let it grow, do so with purpose. Do not follow trends or imitate styles. Lead with your presence and let all else be an expression of that. And if this understanding resonates today, if you see now that your essence is not just felt, but also seen, then let this thought be your reminder. I wear my strength. Because the man who knows who he is does not just grow a beard. He wears it as a quiet signal to her that this is a man who has nothing to prove. He already is. Insight 7, the gift of shared lightness. I invite you to consider this, my friend. When was the last time you brought forth a woman's true laughter? Not a polite chuckle, not the, that's funny, that follows a constructed joke. I mean that real honest, unguarded laughter. The kind that makes her lean back and forget the weight of the world for a moment. The kind that makes her touch your arm without a thought. The kind that lowers her defenses without a single word from you. Here is an insight many do not realize. Laughter is not merely enjoyment. It is a form of intimacy. It is disarming. It moves past all of her mental constructs. It bypasses logic and settles directly into her nervous system. If you wish to understand the deep nature of this, consider that when a woman laughs fully with you, her body releases oxytocin, the chemical of bonding. The same she feels through touch, through deep trust. And in that moment, you are not just the man she is speaking with. You become the man she feels at ease with, the one whose presence feels like coming home. Now, most men never learn to invite this. Why? Because they are so occupied with being impressive, with saying the right words, with appearing strong, stoic, or mysterious. All of those qualities have their place. But if that is your only dimension, she may feel admiration, but not a true attraction. She will see you as composed, but she may not remember you. Laughter is what makes you a living memory. It is the sacred space, the breath between moments of intensity, the instant of release when she realizes, this man makes life feel lighter. The important thing is this. It is not about becoming a performer. It is not about trying to entertain her. It is about knowing when to relax into the present moment, when to tease playfully, when to allow her to tease you back, when to not hold yourself so rigidly. That is what fosters a kind of chemistry that does not need physical touch to feel electric. Let me paint a simple picture. You are with her. The energy is quiet, calm. You notice something small, a detail no one else sees, and you offer a simple, perfectly timed observation. Her lips begin to curve. She tries to hold back the smile, but she cannot. And now you are both sharing in laughter. That moment, right there, is more powerful than any clever phrase because it was not planned. It belonged to both of you. Shared, unscripted, genuine. And its beauty is that she will replay it later. Not the words you spoke, but the feeling. She will not recall the exact remark. She will recall how light she felt in your presence. And in a world that often feels heavy to her, that feeling is magnetic. Now, this is where many men mistake the path. They believe laughter is a weakness, that if they are not always serious, they lose respect. But this is an inversion of the truth. The man who can be light without losing his depth, he is rare. He is a powerful presence. He is profoundly attractive, because he does not need to be constantly on, to be strong. He understands that laughter does not diminish his masculine core. It expands it. It shows he is not threatened by the moment. that he is in command of his own energy, that even in stillness, he can invite joy. Let's connect this to a piece of ancient wisdom. A great thinker once observed, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." Yet he also said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. In other words, your ability to reframe life's currents, to shift tension into ease, that is true power. And laughter is that shift. It is how you guide her energy back to a place of joy, how you show her that masculine strength does not always need to be heavy, that stability can smile, that stillness can spark. So, if you have been carrying the burden of always being the serious man, if you have forgotten what it feels like to simply enjoy the moment with a woman without seeking control, without performance, it is time to welcome that lightness back. Not to impress her, but to reconnect with that part of yourself first. Because the man who laughs with her, not at her, not for her, but truly with her, that man builds something far deeper than attraction. He builds an emotional memory. And if that is the man you are becoming, hold this in your heart. I lead with lightness, because the man who brings a smile to her face is the man she wants to stay near, not just when life is full of excitement, but when it is difficult. Because laughter, my friend, is not just a sound, it is a signal, and when it is shared, it becomes a bond she cannot explain, but will never forget. Insight 8, the flow of a clear purpose. Let us journey beyond attraction for a moment, beyond touch, beyond playfulness, beyond chemistry. Let us speak of something women feel drawn to, but seldom know how to name: a man with a clear path. Not simply a job, not a small goal, not a plan for the next month. I am speaking of vision, of direction. A man who is not merely living day to day, but is in the process of building something meaningful. Here is the truth many men overlook: nothing draws a woman's heart in more deeply than a man who is unapologetically walking towards something larger than himself. This is not about wealth. It is not about recognition. It is not even about the specific nature of the dream itself. It is about what this inner compass says about you. It says you are alive with purpose. It says you are not a stagnant pond, but a flowing river. It says you wake with intention, and that energy is a powerful force. Do you wish to know what women find truly captivating? It is the man who can look her in the eyes and say, with a calm sincerity, "I cannot stay long. There is work I must attend to." And she feels the truth of it, not because he is pushing her away, but because he refuses to lose himself in her presence. That is the essential insight. You do not win her heart by making her your entire focus. You win her heart by focusing on your own path and allowing her to see the light in your eyes when you speak of it. And this is why it resonates so deeply. Because when a woman feels your direction, when she senses that you are pursuing something true for you, that you are not sitting still waiting for life to bring you gifts, she feels a profound respect for you. She